All right, what's going on, guys? Thank you for tuning in to Apex Vision TV. This is going to be our podcast. As you guys know, we got Josh here. Of course, we'll put his contact information right here. But the reason I wanted to start doing a podcast is because I realized Apex is great. It's a great avenue, and I love doing it. But what I came to realize is I don't have a something professional I can put on my LinkedIn that I can show people in a job career type of setting, while as Apex is more laid back, chill. So that's what made me decide to do the podcast. And me and him and Josh had talked about it in the past.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do something like this for a while. I know me and David got together talking about like motorsports and cars, and me and him I've always gotten along with like our love and passion for the history of motorsports. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, like, we got so many ideas for this that, like, the sky's the limit at this point. Yeah. And I've been wanting to do something like this for a while for the channel, but unfortunately, I have spun my channel into a BMW build / cinematics video type channel. So
you want to go ahead and say what your channel is?
Yeah. So you guys can check me out at I believe it's a Joshua T. Garcia. Link will be down in the description. I changed the name of it, everything. And then the Instagram, everything will be down there in the description. You guys can go ahead and take a look. The biggest thing about this, though, is that we want it to be like kind of a chilled, laid back, like just talk about stuff that we like. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And topics that like interest you guys, and also topics that interest us at the same time. Yeah. So
there is a lot of stuff that. And the thing is, me and him don't necessarily have the exact same outlook. There is a lot of crossover between us.
Right.
And that's what makes our conversation so good.
Yeah.
And as a whole, with Apex, the plan was to put my knowledge out there.
Yep.
And just share what I know. Because for years, I had accumulated this knowledge through different avenues. Yep. And that's kind of where it came from to get to this point. Now it's like, this is something I want to do as a career. When you go to the dealership, you realize you know more than the guys that work there.
Right, yeah. And all the times, yeah.
There have been a couple of times I've tried to do something like this, but I think now is the time and place where it's like, I have to get serious about making this more than just something I do on the side for fun. So now that intro is out the way, I guess my first question to you would be, what are 3 of your favorite memories to come from your social media as a thing? So you go ahead and go as a whole, this car community, and then I'll list my 3. So we'll do 1,
that's fine.
2.
So with my channel and the stuff that I do, a lot of my stuff has to do with, bringing out the art of cars and kind of like how someone can just look at it and be like, that's a piece of art. But at the same time as you have a piece of art, you're sculpting that piece of art, I feel like. Mm-hmm. So there's a reason why people like us put carbon fiber pieces on our cars, why we do, wide body kits, why we do this, why we do that. You're sculpting that piece of art to be who you are and resemble you also as a person. And that's the biggest thing that I was trying to get pushed through between my channel and all the cinematics and stuff like that. But there have been a couple guys, man, that have just been super down to earth, dude, that have been like down for whatever, like, hey man, you're the photographer, you're the cinematographer, just let me know what you need. Mm-hmm. A lot of the guys that I shot with, I remember one night me and Matt, and maybe Matt will be on here soon enough, but he's one of our friends. We were out till like 2-3 in the morning shooting the new Supra, a Lamborghini Huracan, and a twin turbo Audi R8.
Oh.
And like it was like 3 in the morning by the time we got done with the shoot.
It was one of those cases where you realized how much fun you were having.
Yes, dude. Yeah. So that's one of the greatest nights. And I mean, we drove all the way from Tempe and just started going, just pop, bam, bouncing around, shooting everywhere. And then we ended up at, if you guys know, you're from Arizona, Talking Stick Resort.
Okay.
So we ended the shoot there, and it was kind of like, you had these older dudes who have made it, to a certain extent in life, but you can tell that they don't get to hang out like me and you do all the time. Like they don't get that anymore because they got kids, they got family, they got businesses around, they got all this stuff. But that night was like, we're 20 again. Yeah. Just we got the cars that we wanted. Yeah. And you could tell that they that night was just super fun, man. Yeah. So.
Okay. That's valid. I think, and as we grow, we do plan to start bringing more people on.
As you can see, guys, it's very primitive here right now.
Yeah, it's very primitive.
We have the BMW logo. We got some shop towels right here. We got a Lego box. We got my tools in the back. We're huffing brake cleaner up there. It's very primitive right now, but it should get a little bit better.
Yeah, we'll as we grow, things will change. I think for me, one of my favorite moments, and this is in no order, was when I went to the Daytona 24.
Yep.
And
jealous, man.
For me, it felt real. Because, if you follow me on Instagram, I post a lot about motorsports, and I think that's where my community came along.
Right.
Originally, it was like heavy motorsports. Then I started to do the build. Then I started the sim race. And it kind of balanced itself out.
Yep.
So where we are right now. But going to the Daytona 24-hour was special to me because that's something I have been following since, probably high school. Of course, you talk about video games like Gran Turismo, Forza. That plays a really big part. But that was the first time I was in it, as opposed to, okay, let me steal a screenshot and post it and then try to get interaction on my stories. That was the first time I was like, all right, well, yeah, this is the real deal. And since then, I've actually been really wanting to get into that environment. So that's definitely up there for me.
I do want to transition real quick. So, our top 3 moments. Let's talk about what's your background real quick. Where did your love for cars start? Where did your love for this entire scope? Where did it start from?
So I think it helped that my dad to a certain extent was into it, and that elevated more as it's like, okay, well, David's in the cars. A lot of people, right. And I'm really surprised it's still relevant. Hot Wheels, man.
Yeah, that's where it all
there
starts,
will be
man.
Cars that I will point out to my dad, and he'd be like, "Oh, that's a Corvette. Oh, that's a 911." I remember a 911 wing popping out the back of it, and I'm like, "Why does it do that?" The nerd in me was really interested in that.
And Hot Wheels never stops when you're older too, so don't forget that.
Yeah, there are people we know that have
We know? You mean me?
Bro, there are so many people out there that we know personally that have an entire wall of that type of stuff. So I think Hot Wheels is where it started for me. And then the next thing would be Gran Turismo, and that's where the motorsports came into it. It wasn't Fast and Furious. Hey, this looks cool. It was, okay, well, these races are cool and they happen in real life. So I think that's where it got started for me.
That's kind of funny because me and David say that our roots are kind of very similar, and that's how I got started in cars too. So my dad actually owned a 97 Integra. It was a LX, if I remember correctly. So B20 non-VTEC motor, and he ported and polished the motor so that it was bigger displacement. I don't know what it was at, or bored it out. Excuse me. Sorry, he bored it out and ported and polished it. But anyways, that car was a fun car.
Yeah.
And I remember us having it as a kid, and my dad was always going around racing people on off base and stuff like that. So, but from that, it was my dad who kind of put in the love for cars for me, and then from there, I kind of branched off. And Dad was actually the first one who showed me what Gran Turismo was.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting down one night. We had just moved to Hawaii, and my dad bought a PlayStation 2, and there was this game that he bought, and my dad said, "Sit down, we're gonna race each other," and it was Gran Turismo 3 Ace Back.
Yeah.
So I remember that vividly, man. That was such a crazy moment for me, and from there on, I mean, my love for cars was so crazy to where I was asking, what that car was, this and that, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's funny because our love for cars kind of stems from the same area.
Yeah, and kind of, our parents kind of opened that door.
Right.
And we took that door and made it a garage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We expanded it and it blew outwards. I guess we don't necessarily need to list all three. From here, I guess we'll go into brands next. Since that's pretty obvious for me.
Hey, I'm a Honda guy at heart, man. I'm a Honda guy at heart. We've always owned Acuras. We always owned Hondas, bro. And then one day I said, I'm going to go pick up a BMW. And that just, don't pick up BMWs, guys. Especially not the one I got. Don't pick that one up.
Well, for the record, I think...
we'll put a picture here, by the way.
Yeah, we're gonna.
We'll insert a picture of what it looks like.
We have plans of doing just audio and video, video picture mix. But anyway, I think I actually started out with Chevy because that's just what we had, and they never did no wrong. My first car, it never had to get towed home because of a breakdown.
That's the TL.
I had a Monte Carlo 97, had Honda spokes on it and everything. But anyway, to go further into brands, I think I might have said it off camera, but unanimously, I think everybody that likes German stuff dreams of owning a Porsche one day.
Right.
So I think Porsches on another level.
I'm gonna get one, man. I'm gonna get one.
One day we both have our Porsches that we like.
Matt told me I'm not old enough to get a Porsche. So to bring some context in, this morning was Porsche day at 4 till 4. If you're from the area, just everybody comes and does Porsches. I told Matt I was gonna get a Porsche, and Matt said I'm not old enough yet.
Hey,
so I told him that just because he said that, I'm gonna go get a Porsche.
So
it might be a 914. Or 914. It might be a 944. I'm gonna get some kind of Porsche.
Some type of Porsche.
Some type. All right.
But yeah, so I think Porsche. I'm a real big Audi fan. Yeah. McLaren, and then Corvette because Chevy. They make some of the best attainable sports cars.
Yeah, I agree.
That perform from a high level. But I think for me, motorsports being integrated with your roll cars is probably the most...
That's why I like BMW.
The most important factor.
Yeah, that's why I've always liked BMW, man.
Yeah, I think...
They've been a forefront in a lot of motorsport stuff, dude. That's why I've just the historic value of BMW.
I think BMW, what's good about them, they focus on... They say the ultimate driving machine, right? I think BMW, what makes them good at what they do is they focus on this is a sedan, but there are certain rules we have to make.
Right.
To make it a fun, dynamic car at its ultimate version. So, a 428i is gonna be lightweight. It's gonna be front engine, rear-wheel drive.
Yep.
Because they know that when they do the M2, all that stuff is gonna benefit it from a dynamics level. So,
Yep, I totally agree.
Yeah, and then to go back to favorite things about since we started our pages, I think the friendships that because of our pages, like there are people I haven't met in person yet that I would consider like some of my best friends. Yep. And it's all because you decided to be like, all right, well, I'm gonna post about my GS, or I'm gonna post about this Daytona, or you know what I'm saying? So
you never make, the shots that you don't take.
Yeah.
And that's how we met, actually. We met because we were hitting each other up on Instagram.
Yeah, we just
I think you might have followed a photo or something, or I might have shot you a message or something, and then from there on, we
just started chopping it up because I think I remember you posting a 917. I'm gonna assume it was at Fountain Hills.
Probably.
But I just remember talking with you about the car in particular.
Right.
fast forward a couple of years, one of my best friends, and now we are where we are with it.
And we're still talking about the 917.
We're still talking about the 917. So yeah, just a quick little intro episode, I think.
Yeah, the biggest thing is we kind of want to throw at you guys, you know, what we'll be doing, kind of. We have a lot of ideas. We have guests that we want to bring on to this. There's a lot of people who are very knowledgeable in what we want to talk about.
Yeah.
Because, like, racing, I don't know anything about actual track drive. Like, I do and I don't.
Yeah.
I've never actually been on track with my car.
Yeah.
So there's people that we would like to bring on to talk about a topic like that. And if you guys have any topics that you would love to see, we'd love to talk about them.
Yeah.
Especially the controversial ones.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really chill episode, but I think as discussions come up, there will be conversations that come up where I have my hill I'm not budging from, and he has his hill he's standing on, and
Ferrari 488 GT3.
We get great conversations like that.
Ferrari 488 GT3.
Which you can't see me on the audio.
Ferrari 488 GT3.
The cringe I have for that. But yeah, again, to double down, I know people that have done budget NATs. I know people that were in it like heavy during the Group C era. I know people that are track instructors. I know people that started with a road car, didn't throw any extra power at it, and made up 10, 15 seconds at these tracks. So that's where the guest host will come into play.
And I completely agree with that. We know guys with BMWs who are making, or who own shops that are making, 700-800 horsepower.
Yeah.
Which that'd be a fun topic to talk about, stuff like that. But we have ideas up in the sky, man. The sky's the limit. So, with that being said, though, this was just kind of an intro video, get you guys familiar with us, who we are as people, and get you guys familiar with kind of what's going on. But other than that, I think we're good to close out, huh?
Yeah. Just to double down, our plan is we're going to talk about different championships in more detail, be it F1, Group C, Rally. Yep. So just stay tuned. Like I said, this is our first episode.
Yep.
More of definitely an intro, but yeah, you got anything you want to add before we go ahead and close out?
No, man, that's it. I think we've covered it pretty far, and see you in the next episode. Peace out.